Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is an Ask the Expert session for Drive a Data Culture with Power BI, Vision, Strategy, and Roadmap. I will go over some quick housekeeping items and then we will get started. Please use the chat to ask your questions. You can post anonymously or use your name. You can also vote for your favorite questions so our experts know which questions to prioritize. They will be answering questions verbally and in the chat, and we will also post some resources in the chat so that you can follow up and learn more. We will be recording the session so that you can go back and reference the information that we share. We ask that you not record the session on your side. Also, please help our moderators by not spamming the chat. Lastly, please adhere to the Microsoft Code of Conduct. It is posted in the chat and you can reference it here as well. And with that, I'll hand it off to Kim Manis and Priya Sathi.
Hi there.
Hey guys, excited to be here. Excited for all your questions, so keep them rolling.
Absolutely. Got a lot of them coming in, so.
Let's see, Kim, what we got here.
I see a question on Excel with the new feature announced around viewing, editing Excel workbooks from the PBI service. Are there plans to allow direct querying an Excel workbook so the changes in the workbook would be reflected immediately in a PBI data set that it reads from? So there's a whole cycle there that you're recommending. Yeah, and we're really excited about Excel being able to connect to Power BI data sets on the web. So that's coming really soon. Today, you can actually connect to a Power BI, you can connect to an Excel workbook in Power BI and have that refreshed through a gateway, or connect to a SharePoint hosted Excel file and have that refreshed there. So you can absolutely do that today, where when you make changes, when the data refreshes in Power BI, you'll see it in your report. So definitely you can have this kind of virtuous cycle going.
Hey, there's a question here from Oscar about the price per user for Power BI Premium is great. Can Power BI Pro and Power BI Premium users collaborate? What are the rules and restrictions for that? Yes, first of all, when you have Power BI Pro, you have a Power BI workspace, you can absolutely collaborate with a Power BI Premium workspace user. Now, the restrictions are, there are some premium capabilities that are only available to the premium user. And as an example, cognitive services, our automated ML capabilities, our large data set size capabilities. So those are restricted to the premium per user license holder. But one of the things is, if you're a pro user right now, you still can easily upgrade to premium per user. We're still doing free trials, so it should be easy for you to try it.
I see a question here on one of the largest issues is the huge number of workspaces needed since app security is tied to a workspace. Any plans on allowing some subfolders and individual security on reports, apps, etc. in the future? So we hear this loud and clear. It's on the top of our ideas forum right now. Customers large and small want to be able to better manage apps with different folder security, all that. So we're working through the plans now. It is on our roadmap. I don't have a date to share yet, but trust me when I say we are working on it.
There's another question here. For users with only Power BI Pro licenses, there's no way to automate deployment processes between different environments, workspaces, and to modify the data source connections between environments. Would it be possible to use Azure DevOps in the future for this? So a couple of things. We have the deployment pipeline capabilities that were available only within Premium, but now they're available to you with that Premium per user license. So really cheap. You can use the deployment capabilities to manage going from dev, test, prod, really simple, easy. You don't need to worry about writing any code. So that's available. And in terms of possibility to use Azure DevOps, that's been a big ask, so that's something we're considering.
I'll take this next question on any news on how Power FX may or may not come into the picture for us Power BI folks. So I just wanted to start by saying M and DAX are here to stay. PowerFX is not replacing that. PowerFX is really about a programming language for logic versus on the data side. We are working across the team to figure out what scenarios make sense and where and if we pull it in. And we'd love to hear feedback from you all on the Power Platform community side of where you'd like to see it, if you'd like to see it more deeply integrated with Power BI.
Okay. So Kim, there are a bunch of questions related to, I think, Excel here.
I see one on PowerPoint. Leadership team loves to use PowerPoint to share information. How can we integrate Power BI into PowerPoint in a live way? You're right, we can't do this today. There are third-party add-ins that do this today, so you can check those out. DevScope is one I know about, but we are working with the PowerPoint team to figure out a way to make this better and better over time. So definitely you'll see more from us in the future on live PowerPoints with live Power BI reports.
There's a question here on when can we get smart narratives interacting with tables and Gantt charts for project data analysis. Sean, a great ask. Definitely ask you to go vote for that, put that into your ideas.powerbi.com. And at this point, we're working towards getting smart narratives into general availability out of preview into GA, but definitely would ask you to go vote for that and ideas.
I see a question here on, is there a Mac OS version of Power BI Desktop in the future? So we get this question all the time. We are actively working on bringing more and more authoring capabilities to the web. Eventually, we want to bring all the Power BI Desktop capabilities to the web, give you the power and the choice to choose a client or the web. But once we're on the web, basically any operating system will work for you. So expect to see more and more of that coming out of our team. And recently we shipped the capability of quick creation of reports in the service. So you can go create a new report and paste some data in really easily. We're going to be extending that out and adding more and more capabilities there over time.
So I see a couple of questions here. What is the GA for Power BI Premium Gen 2? I see 2 people posted that. So our GA for Gen 2 is going to be this summer. So we're not that far away.
Very close. I have a question here. I still have a challenge moving some of my users to switch from Excel to Power BI. What are some recommended strategies? They don't have to move. So this is the awesome thing about the Power BI and Excel stories together is you can really easily connect to Power BI datasets from Excel. So you can, right from Excel, go and click on the pivot table menu. You'll see a Power BI option. From there, you can explore the data in Excel, work with it, play with it the way you know and love, format it, use all the Excel features that everybody's familiar with. And then behind the scenes, this is still connected to a Power BI data set. So the data set, refreshes, it stays secured, all that good stuff that as an administrator you really want, but the end user can stay in the product they know and love. I personally love the Excel pivot table, and for some jobs, there's no better tool. So we want to make sure it's really easy for users to have that choice of where to go, whether it's working in a Power BI report or an Excel spreadsheet.
So there's a couple of premium per user questions I've seen here. How does the new license premium per user fit in? Can you give me a scenario where this would be useful? And I see a question also below, kind of related. For the Power BI premium per user license, does that allow for creation of paginated reports? And if so, what are the rules for access to those reports? Thanks. I'll try to address both of them. So a premium per user fits in when you're thinking about a model where you need access to those premium capabilities, and the full list of premium capabilities are available in our documentation. But if you are looking for access to those premium capabilities, you can now, instead of licensing a premium capacity model, which was a higher price tag model, you can license it based on a number of users that need access to it. So for example, you're starting a new project, you don't want to go spend $5,000 on that that new project, you have, 20, BI analysts and developers, you can just pay for those 20 licenses, get that project jump started. So you could be a department, and you might be a small department, you don't want a per capacity licensing, you could use it for that as well. And so really the full list of limitations, I think the follow-on question on paginated reports, yes, it is available in the premium per user. And what are the rules and restrictions? There actually are none. I would say go to our documentation, look at what we've posted, you'll get all of the details there.
I'll take this question. How does the new sharing feature work in regards to security around Power BI Pro licenses? So this is the exact same licensing model we have today. Power BI is free for personal use. So if you're working with something on your own, you can use it for free. When you share, you need a pro license and the recipient needs a pro license, or the recipient or the content needs to be hosted in Power BI Premium. So as long as the content's hosted in Power BI Premium, you can send it to whoever you like. They don't need a pro license.
So there's a question, I have a question about usage metrics reports. Instead of having usage reports for each and every Power BI report, is it possible to combine all that data extract activity and just have one report with all of that information? Great question. So the way we're making this possible is you can bring your own Azure Log Analytics. So Azure Log Analytics is a subsystem within Azure Monitor, and we are making available to you an integration from Power BI to Log Analytics. So all the telemetry that performance metrics, usage metrics, will be pumped into your Log Analytics, and then you can then build any reporting that you need on top of that telemetry in there.
I see a question, DAX and M can be a big hurdle for adoption across all business users. In driving a data culture throughout an organization, what do you recommend for building skills for users who don't have the time or skills to learn DAX? We hear this one all the time. One of the features I recommend you take a look at is one we call quick measures. So what you can do is use these awesome DAX templates to create a measure with some recommended options that actually the Power BI team and many folks in the community have built. So, if you want to do something like year over year calculation, all you need to do is drag and drop the fields. Behind the scenes, we'll write the DAX for you. And then from there, if you want to tweak it and edit it, you can do that. So we definitely have seen that tweaking and editing is much easier than starting from scratch and trying to build that out. But definitely over time, we're going to do more and more in this space to make it more UI driven and less coding driven, to make it easier for business users to get these kinds of scenarios done.
There are some more great questions here. So there's a question around, would you recommend having premium per user for non-production workloads to offload resources from the premium capacity? You absolutely can. It's a great scenario for premium per user. You want to use it for dev test. You absolutely can do that. Use premium per user and offload it off of premium capacity and just use premium capacity for production workloads.
I'm sorry, these are coming in fast.
I know they are.
Trying to pick one.
So key capabilities lost when using premium per user versus premium capacity. Actually, there's only a couple of features, and it's in the documentation. One is multi-geo. Multi-geo is only available in premium capacity. The second one, there is bring your own key, BYOK, or bring your own key. That is also only available in premium capacity. But I would ask you guys to go look at our documentation, because we did put specific documentation out on that.
I see a few questions around featured tables and bringing data into Excel as a table. So I just wanted to cover that for a minute. So there's a new capability in Excel called Excel data types. And this has been around for a little while with some public data. So if you go into the data tab of Excel, you'll see stocks and geography as options. So, I can really quickly pull in different stock tickers and get data on, last price, yesterday's price, change over the last day. We've extended Excel data types to include enterprise data types. So as a Power BI creator, you can go into your model and you can set a featured table. So in the model view, you can mark a table as featured. And when you do that, it's going to show up in the Excel data types gallery. What that allows you to do is use that Power BI data directly in the cells with formulas. So you can pull in, all the content you want. You can write measures again, or you can write formulas against it using the Excel formula language. And this is something that for folks who live and breathe in Excel, it's super important that we really embed ourselves in that experience. And for those that aren't familiar with pivot tables, this is a really great option to just bring it into the grid really easily. So if you look up Power BI data types in Excel, you can learn more about that in our documentation.
So there's a question here. Do we need to use data flows to use the auto ML and other AI features on Power BI Premium? So to use auto ML specifically, yes, you do need either a premium per user or premium capacity license. However, we do have a lot of other AI capabilities that are available for the pro user. So these are the capabilities that, you can build your reports. For example, we've got the key influencers, we've got decomposition tree, we've got smart narratives. All of these are available to the pro user. And then when you get into the advanced data prep type AI machine learning capabilities, that's where you need data to a premium license.
I see a question here. Any plans for a better Power BI home customization, like hiding different content or customizing it? So we actually have a capability called featured, where you can feature, as an admin, you can feature content on the homepage and make sure it bubbles up for all your users. So if there's key reports or data sets that you need everybody to see, you can go ahead and feature them and customize them. We will be evolving this over time because we hear this a lot from the community that folks really want to customize that for their users. They know what's important. And so you'll see more and more from us on that.
So there's a great question here. Any tips we should follow to protect our data before enabling export to Excel at the tenant level? So it's a really great question. So we do have integration with Microsoft Information Protection. So one of the things our customers do is apply sensitivity labels. And so you can carry over, let's say you have, highly sensitive data, you can apply those sensitivity labels, which will carry through not just into all your Power BI assets, but let's say you started off with a SQL database and you're bringing that data into Power BI. If you had those sensitivity labels applied right in your SQL database or right in Azure Synapse Analytics, that should carry forward through into Power BI and also into Excel. So that is what our customers do, and that's the tip I would suggest to protect any sensitive data and make sure it's not, reaching the hands of people that shouldn't.
I see a question here, kind of in a similar vein to the last one, of how should end users discover relevant Power BI reports available to them? I know there's an option for featured, but is it possible to feature content based on the user? They publish many apps and they want to make sure folks get what's appropriate to them. So featured content absolutely is permission based. So you're not going to see that featured content unless you have access to it. So you can rest assured that only the things you are able to access are the ones you're going to get. The other thing you can do for app distribution is you can push apps out to people. So you can use security groups or specific people and install that app for them. So when they go to the apps page in Power BI, they have all their stuff that they need pre-installed for them.
And then there's a question here. Are there any plans to build native Azure Purview Power BI connector? Interested in bringing glossary of terms to link definitions into reports? So today we already have an integration with Azure Purview. And that is in preview. If you guys are not aware, It is in preview. You can use Azure Purview with Power BI, so that's already there.
Let's see. I see here that people want more and more for visuals, so the visualization side can use an update. There's a lot of formatting options in the product, and we're bringing more and more. And the feedback here is really around there's a ton of options you have to navigate through. So we are working on making our defaults in Power BI better and better. That's one thing we think is really important, that by default, the experience needs to look beautiful. It needs to be best practice, all that good stuff. So you'll see more and more of us updating that space, and also overhauling some of the formatting options and UX to try to make it simpler and simpler for folks to use. We know that people want it to work just like PowerPoint, just like Excel, so we're on that journey to make it happen.
So there's a question here, data model limitations. What is the roadmap from premium data model size limit, and when does it make sense to switch from Azure Analysis Services to Power BI Premium? So great question. So we, in December, made the large models capabilities generally available in Power BI Premium. So now you have the exact same capabilities that we had in Azure Analysis Services available in Premium as well. Now, when does it make sense to switch? I think that really comes down to your requirements and decisions on your side. Both exist for different purposes. Now, you could use Premium. Premium has all of the capabilities of Azure Analysis Services, plus a lot more advanced capabilities as well. So if you need things like the advanced AI capabilities, if you need paginated reports, if you need, for example, yesterday we announced into public preview VNet support for Power BI. So if you need VNet support, then those are things where Power BI Premium is your choice. So some of those capabilities. But if you don't need any of those capabilities, you could just stick with Azure Analysis Services. There's a question here from Karthik around, I have a premium per user workspace for POC purpose. Great. And we're purchasing premium license. Can we convert premium per user workspace to premium workspace? Yes. Simple answer. There's also another question, date. I think I saw this a couple of times. Date for log analytics preview. You just commented it is vital for enterprise model. So our log analytics preview should be, it's already in private preview. We've had several customers already testing it with us, and we are bringing it into public preview this month.
I see a question, how are things looking for better theme creation? Currently, the tool made by Power BI Tips blows the native theme creator out of the water. I agree. We've done a bit here, so we do have, when we first shipped this, you had to go edit a JSON file to create a theme. Now it is easier with a dialogue, and you can change some of the options, but there's infinite ways of changing the themes, down to every little formatting option, and Power BI.tips is a great place to go to edit the themes. So eventually we'll do more here, but I do think, those folks in the community are really created a great tool there. So try it out if you're looking for theme editing.
So there's a question here on, is more R and Python integrations with Power BI planned? Would love to hear more about what you would want to see. I would definitely encourage you to go ask or put an idea into ideas.powerbi.com and vote for it. I would love to know more, what more you'd love to see.
I see a question here on, is there any way my clients can export report to PDF or PowerPoint when the report is embedded in my application? There's actually APIs available for this now. So this is relatively new, but you should be able to add that to your application. and insert an option for folks to use export. Dark mode. So dark mode is in our roadmap. I really want it to. I use dark mode. So we're working through that plan, and we just need to make sure that across all the integration points in Power BI Desktop, including Power Query experiences, all those need to come together to bring dark mode there. So we definitely want to align with Office and make sure that mode carries over for you.
So I think there's a question about links to learn more about advanced AI features on Power BI Premium. Absolutely. I think we just need to make sure that we put a link in here to our documentation, Premium documentation. There's a question here on, we have one tool for monitoring Power BI Premium. This tool is quite simple. Will you improve this tool? Now, Jeremy, I assume you're talking about the capacity metrics app, the template app that we have published in the App Store. So what you will see with Premium Gen 2, what just came out today, we just announced availability of utilization metrics within Premium Gen 2. You're going to get all of the CPU utilization metrics and a lot more over the next few weeks and months. So this is available in Premium Gen 2. But then the other thing that we're also doing, I mentioned Log Analytics, Azure Log Analytics. We are making all of this data, the utilization, premium utilization data available in Log Analytics as well.
There's a few questions about SharePoint. We are doing deeper integration with SharePoint. Very soon, you'll see the ability to analyze Power BI data directly from a SharePoint list, so that you can kick off a Power BI report right in line. So that one's coming very soon. That integration is going to get better and better over time.
So the second tool for monitoring Power BI Premium is in the admin portal, but it'll be soon. Soon, but when? So the utilization metrics app that I mentioned, it is available today, or is rolling out this week, starting today.
Priya, I see a question. What's your dog's name?
I know, I saw that, Matt. Yes, my dog did run in. I'm glad you guys all got a little peek at my dog.
That's part about remote conferences.
And I think we have time for one or two more questions.
I see a few questions on external tools. We love the external tools ability in desktop because it really allows the community to go and build up capabilities that we haven't in desktop. Things like tabular editor, it gives super advanced authoring. We want to build more and more pro tooling up and make it easier and easier for these pro BI developers to do more. But I think the external tools are a great option right now, and we're just seeing that explode in terms of different capabilities coming. So thank you to the community for all the folks that have contributed there.
So I think there's a question here on, please can you guide me where I can get more information about export to PDF, PPT APIs for embedded. So if you go to the Power BI documentation, in there you'll see the full set of APIs that are available, and you will be able to get the export to PDF or export to PPT API.
And with that, we are at time. We have some resources up on the screen for everyone, how you can learn, connect, explore, continue to participate and be involved in our community. We also encourage you to attend our next event, the Microsoft Business Applications Launch event. We will have another session later this evening or this morning, depending on your time zone. And we thank everyone for their time. Thank you so much to Priya and to Kim. And we hope everyone has a wonderful rest of Ignite.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.